Hello everyone, I am Professor Vaibhav Shah. Welcome to my channel. In today's lecture, lecture 21, we'll be learning how to draw an epicycloid. If you like my content and teaching style, then like and subscribe to my channel to show your love and support. Now, let us begin. Problem 1. Draw locus of a point on the periphery of a circle which rolls on a curved path. Take diameter of rolling circle 50 mm and radius of directing circle, or you can say curved path 75 mm. So here we have to trace a point on a periphery of circle which rolls on a curved path. So whenever circle is rolling over a curved path or a circular path, the curve generated is known as epicycloid. Now the diameter of rolling circle is 50 mm. So always remember, rolling circle is the smallest diameter circle. That's why we'll be using small d and small r for defining this rolling circle. So your diameter is given, that means small d is equal to 50 mm and small r would be 25 mm. Now radius of directing circle is given, which is 75 mm. So always remember, directing circle is a larger diameter circle. That's why we'll be using capital D and capital R to represent this directing circle. So here radius is given, that means we'll be using capital R is equal to 75 mm. So we are having total two data. First, small r is equal to rolling circle radius 25 mm and capital R, the directing circle radius 75 mm. Now these are the steps which we are going to follow to draw our epicycloid. So let us first draw this larger diameter circle, directing circle. For that, the radius is 75 mm. So let us select any point O randomly on your drawing sheet. After getting this point O, you have to select on your rounder capital R radius, which is the radius of your directing circle. Now here the radius of directing circle is 75 mm. So adjust on your rounder 75 mm. Put your rounder at point O and try to draw one circular arc like this. The length of this circular arc would be any random length. Now, after plotting this circular arc, we must define this curve. This is a directing circle. Directing circle is the circle which directs the motion of rolling circle above it. Now, let us draw one another circle which is a rolling circle. So here the diameter of rolling circle is 50 mm. So we have drawn this circle with the 50 mm as a diameter. That means 25 mm as a radius. Now after plotting this circle, let us denote this circle as generating circle or rolling circle. As you know, this circle will roll over this directing circle. That's why it is known as the rolling circle, and it will be generating the curve at the end, which is known as epicycloid. That's why this circle is also known as a generating circle. Now, after that, let us define its rotation direction. So it will rotate in clockwise direction, obviously, because it has to travel from this point to this point. So it has to compulsorily rotate in clockwise fashion. Now, after that, let us extend this radial line like this. And after extending this line, taking this line as a reference, we'll be dividing this circle into 8 number of equal parts. So after that, we'll draw one line 90 degree to this line from the center. And after that, we'll be using 45 degree set square or protractor to divide this circle into 8 number of equal parts like this. We have drawn this line first. After this line, we have to draw one line at 90 degree to this line. And after that, we have to draw 45 degree to this line. We'll be having this line. And similarly, we have to draw 45 degree to this line. We'll be having one another line. So we have divided this portion into total number of 8 parts. Now, after dividing these parts, we'll give numbering. So now, it is obvious that the intersection point of these two circles will be an initial point. So that's why we'll give this point as 0 number. Now we'll start numbering from this point in clockwise direction like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. In examination, you have to compulsorily show 0 and 8 on your circle here. Now after that, let us define our point which we have to trace throughout the example. So let us define this point as point P. So this is the initial location of the point P at the intersection of your directing circle and the rolling circle. Now let us define this CP distance as your small r, which is the radius of your rolling circle. Obviously it is true. CP is equal to r. Now let us suppose this rolling circle rolls by one revolution. During this one revolution, point P will start its motion from this point like this in clockwise fashion and will come back to its initial position once again. And at the same time, this rolling circle will travel on this directing circle from the starting point P until this end point, and while rotation it will sustain an angle theta at the center point O like this. Now, so our next task is to find out this angle theta. For that, let us apply one logic. Now, distance traveled by point P on the circumference of the smaller circle would be 2 pi r, because the radius of this smaller circle is small r. So that's why we can define this distance traveled by point P on this smaller circle exactly equal to circumferential distance of this circle, which is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r. At the same time, the distance traveled by this rolling circle over this curved path would be defined by mathematical formula. We know that distance, if we want to measure the distance of this curved path, we can use mathematical formula like r into theta, which will define this length of this circular path. So which will be exactly equal to r into theta. So once again, distance traveled by point P on the small circle or rolling circle is exactly equal to distance traveled by rolling circle on the curved path, which is r theta. Now we want to find out theta, so let us find out the theta. So we can modify the equation like this. So formula for theta is equal to small r by capital R into 360 degree. Now we have to just put the values of small r and capital R to get the final theta. So let us put the small r value, so which is small r is 25 and capital R is 75 mm. Now after that we will be having some degrees. This will be our final theta. Now your question would be, sir, why we have changed from 2 pi to 360 degree? So the answer is, we must find out the theta because we have one device which is known as protractor, and protractor can only measure the angles in theta. So we have to compulsorily convert this 2 pi into theta for our further usage. So this is the reason why we are converting 2 pi into 360 degree. So now let us move to next step. After getting this theta, we have to simply plot theta with respect to this line like this. We have to plot theta by use of protractor, and after plotting this theta you will get this end line, which specifies that your circle starts its motion from here and it will end its motion somewhere here. So we have used this formula, theta is equal to r by r into 360. Always remember this formula for these examples of epicyclone. The formula is fixed. So now, as we know, we have divided this circular motion into 8 number of equal parts. That's why we have to compulsorily divide this motion on this curved path also into 8 number of equal parts. This can be done by two ways. First, either you can divide and draw by protractor. So you have to put theta into your calculator and you have to divide it by 8 because we have divided this circle into 8 parts. So you have to enter your theta into calculator and divide it by 8. So you will have the division of one part angle, and you have to measure each part separately on your protractor and you can plot number of parts on this line. Secondly, you can use angle bisection method and you can divide this particular portion into 8 number of equal parts. So we are using first method. We are dividing this theta by protector method into 8 number of equal parts. So let us divide this circular path into 8 number of equal parts. So let us suppose this is our theta. So we have divided theta by 8 because we have to divide this particular portion into 8 parts, and we will be having one value, and we have to draw certain degrees from point to get this line. So first part, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth part would be this last line, obviously. Now, after dividing this portion into 8 parts, we have to take O as a center and center C as a radius, and we'll try to draw a center line. So O as a center, C as a radius, draw one center line, circular center line. On this center line, we'll now identify the centers C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, and C8. So now let us identify centers on this line. But before that, this is the end position of your circle. In examination, it is not necessary to draw this circle at the end because it will consume double time in your drawing. So I don't recommend you draw this circle in this end position. But you require to draw this circle at the initial position. It is compulsory. So now let us define the center of the circle. So now we'll be plotting lines parallel to these circular lines from each of the point of this smaller circle. So let us draw lines parallel to this circular line. So we'll be using the same center O, and we'll be changing the radius from O till 3. We'll draw one first line. So on your rounder, put your rounder at point O and select your radius from point O till your point 3, and let us draw one circular radius. So we have drawn one circular radius which will pass from your point number 5. Now put your rounder and take your radius is equal to 0.2 and draw one line which will pass from 2 and 6 here. So you have taken rounder, we have put our rounder at O, and we have taken the radius equal to O to 2, and we have drawn one circular radius. Now once again put your rounder at point O and take radius is equal to O till 1 and draw one another radius. So we have drawn parallel circular lines parallel to your center line, red center lines. We have drawn parallel circular lines from red center line, and these parallel lines must pass from each of the points of your circle. And if your drawing is correct, then a line from number 1 will pass from number 7. If you are correct, then the line from 2 will obviously pass from your point 6, and line from 3 will pass from your point 5, like this. Now, after that, let us locate the point, center point on this center line. So now let us locate these points on this center line like this. We have located total 8 points. Now let us define these points by C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, and C8. Now after that, last phase of the drawing. So now take out your rounder once again. Select radius is equal to small r or your CP distance like this, which is the radius of your rolling circle. Select on your rounder. After selecting this radius, put your rounder at C1 and try to cut this circular line passing from this 1. So this is point 1, this is a circular line passing from 1. So you have to cut this line passing from this 1. So put your rounder at C1 and try to cut this line like this. After that, put your rounder at C2 and try to cut the circular line passing from this 2. Put your rounder at C3 center and try to cut the circular line passing from this 3 like this. Put your rounder at C4 and try to cut this circular line of 4 passing from your 4 like this. Put your rounder at C5 and try to cut this line of circular line of 5. Put your rounder at C6 and try to cut the circular line of 0.6 somewhere here. Put your rounder at C7 and try to cut this circular line of 7, which is 0.7 circular line like this. And put your rounder at last point C8 and try to cut the circular line of 0.8. After getting this intersection point, we have to highlight this point. So let us highlight this point by dark point like this. Now, after that, we'll look at this, finalize these points. And after that, you have to identify these points and you have to join these points by a dark smooth line like this. This is nothing but your curve. This dark curve is known as your epicycloid. After completing this curve, you will define this point as P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, and P8. Remember that each notation is necessary to get complete mark in examination. Notation contains 1 mark each. So always remember, if you are giving dimension, you are having 1 mark. For your notations, P1, P2, P3, P4, you are having 1 mark. And each of the notation contains 1 marks each. So you have to specify each of the notation in your example. So very easy, you have to follow these simple steps. You can have your epicycloid ready. But you have to remember this equation. If you forget this equation, then you can't generate your epicycloid in your examination. This is all from my side. If you enjoyed the lecture, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel to show your love and support. Keep learning, stay connected. Bye-bye.